Hello, everyone. My name is Olamide Olaba, grad school advisor. And today again, I will be talking about my first edition of Gradschool Champion. Today, I have with me one of the Gradschool champions that we have. I have John Teibo with me, and he'll be introducing himself. Mr. John Teibo, you are welcome to the first edition of Gradschool Champion.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be invited for this maiden edition of the Gradschool Champion.
So Mr. Table John will be sharing his experience, his academic journey with everyone. So I hope you will be able to learn so much, especially on how he has made it this far in his academic journey. So John, I would like you to just introduce yourself and what you are currently doing.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Olamide Olaba, for this kind invitation. And I would swiftly dive into the question. My name is John Oluwafemi Teibo. I'm a Nigerian and I'm a researcher, biochemist, precisely. I currently is running my PhD program in cancer proteomics at the University of São Paulo, precisely in the Faculty of Medicine and also in the Department of Biochemistry and Immunology and in the Cancer Proteomics Laboratory. Thank you.
Wow, that's very interesting. So Mr. Table is a PhD student at the University of São Paulo in Brazil. So I'll be right to say that you speak some Portuguese.
Yeah, eu falo Portuguese.
Oh,
I do speak.
Do you want to say hi to your people in Brazil?
Yes, sim. Olá, tudo bem? Meu pessoas no São Paulo, no Ribeirão Preto. Meu nome é John, meus amigos. Olá, aqui eu tenho meu amigo. Vamos aprender, ficar à vontade.
Tudo bem. Gostar de suas saudações. Então,
Obrigado.
so I would like you to talk about where it all started from. You know, you did not just get to Brazil. So where did your academic journey started from? Like, where did you finish from your undergrad? Where did you graduate from?
Okay, I did my undergraduate degree in biochemistry at Ladoke Akintola University of Technology in Ogbomoso, Oyo State. And it's a 5-year program that actually gave me the background foundation in biochemistry, and that actually propelled me to go further in the field. And to the glory of God, I graduated in 2015 and also as the best student in my class.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, it's wonderful. So, did you secure your PhD admission directly, or you had a master before your program?
Okay, precisely, I secured my PhD admission with my undergraduate degree. That is with my BTech biochemistry. But actually, I have my MSc in biochemistry also at the University of Ibadan. But I completed the program while I was already in Brazil.
So I like everyone to also listen to Mr. Table. He got PhD offer. I'll be right to say with scholarship directly to the University of São Paulo in Brazil without his master's. So it is not just the US that accepts a PhD without without a master's. It is also possible for you to secure a fully funded PhD position at the University of São Paulo in Brazil without your master's. Wow, that's a very wonderful one. So you secured a fully funded PhD position, right? So what type of funding is this? Is it, I'm aware it's scholarship, but how would you describe this funding?
Okay, it's actually a funding provided by the Ministry of Education in Brazil. So it's like a federal government scholarship where each state, each institution is allocated some scholarship for students to be able to run master's program, PhD program based on merit. So they actually have a selection exam that one applies through depending on your position in the selection exam. Let me just use an example. they could admit 10 persons, 10 persons pass. It could be just be 3 persons that the funding is available for. So maybe the first 3 position gets the funding. So in my own case, I was lucky enough, by God's grace, I came first in the selection exam and actually secured the spot of the funding for me.
Wow, that's interesting. So, how would you describe this exam? Is it specific to just your field, or you exams are also written for everyone who wants to secure admission to other fields in your university, for instance?
Okay, in my university, for instance, every field has a selection exam, and the exam is specific to your field of study.
This is just an opportunity for everyone watching out there. So if you're in the field of chemistry or STEM, or basically, let me say, medical sciences, and you want to secure admission in a school like the University of São Paulo in Brazil, you should prepare for an exam. So it goes all the way to you trying to score so high in the selection exam, and you will definitely secure this scholarship. So, what is the name of this scholarship again?
It's CAPES, which is the Brazilian Ministry of Education funding. And one thing that is unique about the funding is, irrespective of nationality, once you have the position, you have the funding.
So then again, I know I have a friend in University of São Paulo as well, who
Okay.
is in the Department of Statistics. So I'm aware during his own selection process, it wasn't through examination. So it was just curriculum analysis. So it was
Okay.
the CV analysis that earned him the position. So again, if you are in the field of mathematics, statistics, you may also want to check the University of São Paulo to see if you can receive offer. So it doesn't have to be exams in some cases. But then if it is exam, just prepare for it and secure the opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Table. So I'm aware you did not just receive CAPES. Myself, I'm a CAPES scholar at the University of San Carlos. But then I know you did not just secure CAPES. We have 3 fundings in Brazil that I am aware of. We have the CMP key, CAPES, and the
Yes.
FAPESP. And today I'm aware
Yes.
you are also a FAPESP scholar. So are you both a CAPES scholar and a FAPESP scholar at the same time, or you switch funding? So can you let everyone know this about you?
Okay, thank you for that question. Actually, one cannot have 2 scholarship funding at the same time in Brazil. So you have to be one. So when I was a CAPES scholar, until I got the FAPESP funding, the FAPESP funding is actually the Sao Paulo Research Foundation Scholarship, and is specific for the state of Sao Paulo, for those institutions in Sao Paulo. So after 10 months of starting the program, I got the FAPESP scholarship, and I was able to transition into the FAPESP
Oh,
scholarship.
sorry,
And
sorry to cut in. How did you switch so fast between 2 fundings?
well, thanks to my supervisor, actually, because when I started discussing, oh, I want to come study with you, he explained the various funding scholarship, and he said, based on your position in the entrance or selection process, you can get the federal scholarship. But I want you to go for the state scholarship, and your profile is good. We can get it. I believe in you. Just work on your research proposal. So I did put up my research proposal. So they analyzed 3 things: the CV of the candidate, the research proposal, and then the CV of the supervisor. Those 3 things is the main principal thing that is graded. And after 10 months of starting this particular program with the CAPES scholarship, I was able to get the FAPESP scholarship. So immediately there was a transition into the new funding, and really made it was.
I'm just curious to know, because this will help someone out there. So, what do you think makes your application so strong that at the end of the day you're able to secure the FAPESP scholarship? Because I am aware that the FAPESP scholarship is also for the Brazilians, and then a lot of Brazilians will apply and they will not get it.
Yes,
So,
it's actually for top.
how would you describe I mean, I just want somebody out there to also have this opportunity. So how will you describe your the strength of your application? What makes it so strong? And I want you to be
Well,
specific.
actually, the FAPESP scholarship, most times, if we are writing if you're a FAPESP scholar, when you're writing, oh, I am a FAPESP scholar, you will put in bracket, it's actually for the top 10%. That is a top 10% candidate in the state. So it's actually a very competitive scholarship position that has to do with your profile, your person. So you must have built your profile, your CV, your research experience. Your supervisor, he doesn't have any challenge because he has been in the field. That is not so. And then the strength of your research proposal together with your person actually carries weight. For example, when I applied for the FAPESP scholarship, it wasn't just on one application I got it. I applied once and I was told to go and revise some things. So I had to revise the proposal, make sure it's aligned with what they want and in a timely order of how I want to achieve the goals and the objectives. So, and that actually helped me to secure it. So basically, if you have a very good profile, a good research proposal, then you're good to go. Just give it a shot. And that actually can surprise and change situations.
I can see that you don't want to be specific, but then I will lead you to the question that will help people out there. So, do you have publications? Do you have to write
Oh,
some exams? How
okay,
did you demonstrate your research experience? If your
okay,
research experience is important, and do you think your academic transcript? Do you think transcript is very important in this selection process, especially that we can have student? We will still get to that how students can actually amend their shortcomings academically and how they can become a strong applicant for any position. But I just want you to reflect on those.
okay. Actually, when I got the reviewer's comments, that was when I understood what they were looking for. For example, there were two independent reviewers. The first reviewer said, this candidate has a very good transcript. All through his academic journey, he had 90, he even calculated the percentage. He said he had 95% A's and so percent B's. So they looked at the strength of my transcript. And then the second thing was how to demonstrate your research experience is true, for example, your research output, which was evident in publications that I have. Some were research and basic others were reviews. So that actually played a major role, a significant role in getting that particular scholarship because you need to show that you are capable, you've done research before, this is the output, and then you can do this also. So my research article, review article, as well as the transcript and research experiences, for example, training or short courses that I've done was actually played a very important role getting the scholarship.
Thank you, Mr. Teibo, for letting us know that. So again, I'm aware that you attended a lot of conferences outside Brazil. So how did you fund your travel?
Well, basically, last year I was able to attend two events. The first event is a course, a procurement course specific to my field, and that was held in Uruguay. It was sponsored by the International Center of Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology, ICGEB. Nigeria is a member, Brazil is a member. On that basis, I could apply. So
So,
you
sorry,
don't
I
have
will just cut in at this point. So, again, this is just an opportunity for those countries mentioned, Nigerians. If this is another opportunity, it doesn't have to be scholarship all the time. You may be studying, and this is another opportunity to receive a fellowship, a travel grant, to attend events. So, Mr. Table here attended events at Montevideo in Uruguay with
yeah.
the sponsorship from the international. You can complete that.
And National Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. So they actually funded this particular course. and they chose applicants from all across South America and outside of South America. We had a candidate from Egypt that came. So we're two Africans, one me from Nigeria, but representing Brazil, of course, at that point in time, and somebody else from Egypt. So that particular platform actually helped me because I was moving from a field from my master's to a new field, proteomics, which I wasn't so familiar with. So it was like the baptism into proteomics that I received in that course because it was intense. There was research. We did research, carried out research within this period. We did training. We also presented poster of what we've been doing in the field. So it's actually a very intense training. And thanks to ICGB for the opportunity. They paid everything, accommodation, travel. I just went to learn.
That's a wonderful one. So I'm also aware you attend another event in Portugal. So
Yes.
is it also sponsored by this same agency or association?
No, this actually the second one in Portugal is a very unique event because it's an international conference. In fact, it's called Global Biochemistry Summit. And this is a global platform where biochemists from all around the world came for this. The COVID-19 disrupted their annual event, and then they merged the various associations under the biochemistry platform, merged, and then they came and did this event in 2022 in Portugal. It was actually a very exciting experience. That was the first time I was able to present on a global stage where we have intellectuals from all around the world giving ideas, asking questions. And one unique thing, if I must ask, is that they have this Young Scientific Forum, which is a 3-day event before the main Congress. And thanks to PABMB and thanks to IUBMB, that is the International Union of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, the Pan-African body of biochemistry and molecular biology, that is the one covering Latin America and also the SBBK. I'm mentioning all these organizations so you know the ladder I climbed to be able to attend the global event. So that is the Brazilian Biochemistry Society of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. So because I was a member of the society in Brazil, I was able to be recommended to the regional body, which is the PMBMB, and the PMBMB presented me to the IUBMB, which is the international body. So on that basis, I was able to represent Brazil, Latin America, or South America in the international event. It was actually 120 young biochemists that was pulled to attend this particular Young Scientific Forum, and then it was very interesting. And then to the main Congress, we attended and it was awesome.
Wow,
So the IU experience
that's a very wonderful one. So so you are a fellow of the IUBMB, am I right?
yes.
So so how do you come about that?
Okay, just this story is just following line because after attending the international conference in July, so I came in contact with a Professor Dario Alexi, and he was interested in what I was doing. And actually, not just because I didn't have the platform because he was the president-elect of the IUBMB. I didn't have the platform to go and meet him that I'm interested in working with you. No. Together with another doctor, Dr. Molein Olorunfemi, he's a Nigerian, he's triggered the discussion that why is it that we have very few biochemists from Africa in this particular conference? This is 120 young scientists pulled from all over the world. Why is it that we have just about 3 to 5 persons representing Africa? It's too small based on the quota. So he started this discussion, and then I supported him, and then we took it forward. We met the leadership. They listened to us. They said, what are the challenges African biochemists are facing? We explained, and we also provided possible solutions. And they said they would work on it. And as a result of that interaction or discussion, they were able to create some opportunities for African biochemists. For example, the first one was done in November 2022. They created a platform where 5 African biochemists would come to Europe just to attend a particular conference, fully funded for PhD and postdoc. That is IUBMB Enable Conference. And then the second one, which was recently created in February, is the IUBMB Pro Bio Africa Research Fellowship. So what it means is that yearly Africans, biochemists can apply. You're a PhD, you're a postdoc, you can apply to come and spend some months in Europe, any lab in Europe, to carry out your research, and it will be funded. But your travel, your subsistence will
So
be funded.
it doesn't matter where in Africa. It doesn't matter.
No.
Once you are an African in the field, you can apply
Yes.
to come and spend some months in Europe. So this is
Yes.
another opportunity out there. If you are a PhD student anywhere in the world and you're an African, it's another opportunity for you. You can spend any time doing research in a field that aligned with your interest. So
Yeah.
thank you, Mr. Teibo, for that insightful move to fight for African students, African researchers. So I don't know if you still have more to say about this before we move ahead.
Okay, yes, just to add, so through that particular discussion, I met the president-elect, and he asked what I was researching on, basically, and I told him to some proteomics. He was like, he also does proteomics. Why don't I come and learn some things in his laboratory, and then that we should apply for the IUBM Wood William Research Fellowship, and he's pretty sure I should be able to get it. So I did apply for the funding, and then I was selected as the research fellow of the IUBMB, and that's how it came about to be.
So will I be right to say that you are currently I mean utilizing what the fellowship brings?
Yes, yes, yes.
Well,
Yes.
that's a good one. That's a good one. So, what university can you let us know what university is?
Okay, at the University of Dundee in Scotland.
Well, that's a good one. That's a good one. Congratulations. So,
Thank you so much.
somebody is out there who wants to become you. Uh, it may not just be you, but then who wants to look at you as a mentor and use your path, your academic path as a template, as a model to walk their own academic journey. So, what advice do you have for such individual?
So the first thing I would say is for you to have your vision very clear. Where do you want to be in the next 10 years? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? What are your goals? So having your vision helps you to be on the move. You know that where you are going to, this is not where I'm going to. So that actually helps you. The first thing is clear vision. The second thing is persistence. You need to be able to do things over and over consistently, doing the right thing actually, so that will yield the results. Then the third thing is actually your tenacity. Your tenacity to say, okay, this thing must work. I must achieve this, irrespective of these challenges are surrounding me. So your tenacity will actually help. And also your circle of influence. Who are those around you that you speak to that motivate you? Who are those that you can look up onto? Who are those you can say, oh, this person is here, I can also get there. So you need to get good mentor, directly or indirectly. There are some people that are my mentor that what I just do is to observe and learn from them. I don't actually have to get direct feedback from them, but there are some that I get direct feedback from. So you just need to look at what are the role models you are looking at and what are they doing, then apply it. And with God, all things is possible.
Thank you so much for that. So, you mentioned that it is important to have this spirit of tenacity. So, especially when dealing with challenges, do you want to highlight some of the challenges you have, you know, I would say you, of course, you have overcome a lot of challenges to get to where you are. So do you want to tell some of those challenges so that if there's anyone out there experiencing the same thing, so this will also put their mind at rest?
There are a lot of challenges we face as humans, and one of the challenges I faced is financial, which is common to everybody. Financial challenges. I didn't have the funding, the resources to actually push through. For example, after my graduation, that is for my first degree, I intended to perhaps study or do my master's abroad, but I didn't have the funding. When I applied for scholarship, I got 50% funding. Then the remaining 50%, I told my dad. He said he doesn't have the money to support that. So financial challenges, one major challenge that gone through, and that actually gave me some motivation. It helped me to look for opportunity. It helped me to, when I see people's story and they say they got fully funded scholarship and this is how they did it. So it gave me that hope, that courage that no, if others can do it, then I can do it. It's for me to prepare myself and prepare for opportunity. And no, favor is when preparation meets an opportunity. So what I did actually is to prepare myself so that when the opportunity comes, I would be favored. So I was able to overcome that through fully funded opportunities. And another challenge is sometimes despair that you are. It might not be people going in line with where you are going. For example, I was doing my master's then. That was because I had push and drive and zeal. Not until our host today gave me a call that, bro, how are you doing? What are you doing? I said, I'm currently running my master's, and he said, but you could get opportunities. I said, yeah, I've been working towards it. And he said, don't worry, we can work out something. Just build your profile a bit. And then when the opportunity comes, maybe you can apply to Brazil. Then he mentored me through that particular channel of applying. And from there, I took it up. So
I won't
that is,
take I won't take that glory. I won't take that glory. But I will say you had the profile, and you are also, like you said, tenacity. You build your profile, everything worked well because of your hard work. But
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. One thing I believe is that all blessing comes from God through men to men. So God used some men in passing down that blessing. But when the blessing came, if I wasn't prepared, it would have been a different situation. So I was constantly working on myself, building my profile, even though I didn't have where to show the profile at that point in time. But when the opportunity came, it paved the way. So the support around you actually matters. People you speak with, people that are going your path, they drag you, even if you are not going, let's go. So that actually pushes you to achieve something in life.
wow,
Thank you.
that's very powerful. A circle of influence and building yourself, making yourself ready, prepared, so that when the opportunity comes, you will be the best fit for the opportunity.
Yes.
That's very powerful, and I believe someone out there is listening to you. So just before we end this discussion, I would just like you to reflect on three things very briefly. So there are some opportunities in a lot of non-English speaking countries like Brazil. So is there any challenge you experience? Would you say it is very challenging to study, conduct research in a non-English speaking country like Brazil?
Well, it, it's a two-sided part, and there are two ways to answer that. First, I find it very interesting to study in Brazil. It actually gave me the exposure, the platform on which I can now build, on which I can improve. And one of the unique things in studying in a non-English speaking country is that you get to learn another language. For example, I can speak Portuguese, I speak Yoruba, I speak English, even Pidgin self, I dey follow talker. So depending on the situation, those languages has roles it helps you. For example, if you go to an international conference, you hear somebody speaks Yoruba, you connect with Yoruba with that person. You hear somebody speaks Portuguese, you connect with Portuguese. You hear somebody speaks Russian, German, whatever. Language is powerful and it's a very important tool. When you speak someone else's language, that person immediately accepts you. That person immediately opens his arm wide and receives you. So it has an opportunity, it has a role to play in the international space when you're able to speak more language. Then two, you serve as a reference point. For example, most of the non-English speaking country are actually opening up to English. For example, during the course of last year, there was a course that was run by the Faculty of Medicine where I schooled. It was English for Health Sciences. So they were teaching medical students and those in the paramedicals English that is specific for health sciences. Through that, because I understand English, I was able to serve as a teaching assistant for that particular course that ran for 1 year. So we introduced terms, and those are the opportunities you tend to enjoy or access when you go to a non-English speaking country, which is actually opening up to English language. Then for manuscripts that passes through the lab, you proofread, you contribute your quota to that, and it actually helps. So it's non-English speaking country. Yeah, it's not an advantage. It's not a disadvantage. There are some dividend that comes with it. Though there are some challenges, communicating with the locals, it's a bit difficult. But if you just try to learn and speak, you would enjoy it.
Well, that's interesting. So I will also ask if would you say there are still opportunities in this country?
Yes, of course. In Brazil, that
Okay.
I know that is very sure, because generally, as of January or even February this year, the Federal Ministry of Education, through the federal government, increased the scholarship quota allocated to the country. So number one, they increased the scholarship because it was the same value since 10 years ago. They increased that. And the second thing, they increased the scholarship funding available. So to be able to encourage internationalization, to open up the country to development and research advancement. So that way, I'm pretty sure one can access funding. Just prepare yourself, identify a supervisor you want to work with in a particular field, in a particular laboratory, in a particular institution. Reach out to the person, they will guide you through. Most times, the PI or the supervisor will guide you through how to apply to the institutions, because there are some institutions that is just your presentation. You do an interview and you present, that's what they use to grade you. Some together with your CV, some written exams, and you can actually get the scholarship from there. Just prepare yourself.
Thank you for that, Mr. Teibo. I will still finally go to specifics, but just before that, would you say this opportunity is limited to students in STEM, or it is extended to both STEM and non-STEM students?
Okay, thank you for that question. Non-STEM students actually have equal opportunity in Brazil. For example, art, management, accounting, finances, the commerce is also well developed. And this opportunity is distributed not to the sciences, but to the institution at large, that is from the Ministry of Education. We now have another funding called the Ministry of Science and Technology funding that is specific to STEM. But the one that's cut across Ministry of Education is for all field. And that is even the one that the quota got increased at the beginning of this year.
Finally, I just want you to reflect on the application timeline and what schools are available to be applied to, that student can apply to, Can students apply to any universities in Brazil? And what are the timeline? How is the selection process like? So from application to admission, what would you call the window, the time window for this period? So I would like you to reflect on that finally.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Basically, there are two timelines of application in Brazil. No, the first is October to resume in March, while the second is in March to resume July, sometimes in August. So basically, this March, there's March window for application and there's October window for application. Most programs, most departments works with that particular program or timeline for application. So if you apply in October, you resume in March because the semester ends in December, and then there'll be a break from December to March. So if you apply in October, you resume March. If you apply in March or anyway from January to that time, you resume in August. So that's the way the calendar runs. So it's usually like about 3 to 4 months from your application timeline. Though you would have gotten your admission, let's say within 1 or 2 months from your application, because when the call comes out for vacancy, there is a timeline where the state, this is the application timeline, this is the selection or the entrance exam or
There's
the
a selection timetable, the
yes, and then
schedule of the process.
the schedule of the process. So this is the date the result comes out. So this is they will put it on the website. The day they say the result comes out, so they put it on the website or they send you the email. So it's very explicit. You get the schedule right up front, and then you can work with that. And usually 3 to 4 months you can resume, but in 1 to 2 months you have your admission.
Wow, that's very wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for sharing your experience, your academic journey. I'm still sure that we have a lot of people out there who would like to connect with you, and I would like you to just say how this is possible. So, what is your Twitter handle? What is your LinkedIn? How can students reach you on LinkedIn? Is there any other platform you are that people can link up with you?
Okay, thank you so much. Basically, LinkedIn and Twitter is fine. John Teibo is my name on LinkedIn, and on Twitter it's Teibo John 1.
Oh, so that's fine. So in addition, is there any final words you have for people out there before you go?
Yeah, it's really an interesting journey, and I never knew that so soon I could even be a grad school champion, because it looks at a point, it looks as if maybe there's no way out in this particular part. But things turn around. While I was busy preparing, opportunity came, I assessed, and then there's growth. So while it looks as if the situation is not palatable now, keep preparing yourself, keep building yourself, keep looking for opportunities. Opportunities will come, assess it. And soonest you'll be here as another Gradschool champion in the next couple of months.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the powerful take-home message. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode of Gradschool Champion. Again, my name is Olamide. I'm your Gradschool advisor. If you are here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, if you are new to the channel and you are here to subscribe, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification button so that you can be notified each time I release new videos.